moment when you click accept on an app. Have you ever really thought about what happens next? Well, your personal info, it has this whole secret life, zipping through systems you've probably never even heard of. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on that secret world and talk about a brand new way to finally take back control. So, let's get right into it. It seems like a simple question, right? But the answer, hoo boy, it's anything but. Think about it. Every single time you use an app, scroll through a website, or even just walk around with your phone in your pocket, you're creating this digital trail. And that trail, that data, is incredibly valuable. So the real question isn't if it's valuable, but who's cashing in on it, and how are they doing it? And this is the part that gets a little crazy. Your data isn't just some abstract thing floating around in the cloud. Nope. It's a product, a commodity. It gets scooped up, packaged, and sold to the highest bidder in this massive hidden digital marketplace. And most of the time, you have no idea it's even happening. This is the stuff that decides which ads pop up on your screen, what news articles get pushed to your feed, and sometimes it can even change the prices you see online. Wild, right? Okay, so how on earth is all of this happening right under our noses? Well, that brings us right to the heart of the problem, this idea of invisible data harvesting. It's pretty much happening constantly, all around us. So a big part of it is how our apps are built. Most of them are opt-in by default, which is a fancy way of saying they're designed to grab as much data as they can unless you go on a scavenger hunt through the settings to tell them to stop. But it's not just apps. It's also happening passively. Get this. In one test, vehicles with some simple sensors were able to legally collect data from people's phones just by driving past them. I mean, seriously, that's how deep and how invisible this whole thing has gotten. And because of all this, we've basically been backed into a corner. I like to call it the all-or-nothing trap. Right now, when it comes to our privacy, our choices are stuck between two really bad extremes. And honestly, neither of them works. So on one hand, you've got the world we live in now, this widespread, sneaky data collection where we have almost zero say. Then on the other hand, you have some of the early blockchain ideas. They tried to fix the trust problem by making everything transparent, which sounds good until you realize it means all your activity is public for the world to see. I mean, that's not privacy. It's just a different flavor of overexposure. So we're forced to pick, let them take our data in secret or broadcast it to everyone. It's a terrible choice. And this broken choice, it puts all the work, all the pressure right on us, the users. And let's be real, this system is pretty much designed to make us fail. It's set up so that managing your own privacy is a full-time job. So if all this is making you feel a little uneasy, you are in very good company. A huge number, 76% of people, say they are highly concerned about their data privacy. So yeah, the feeling is mutual. We all want more control. But here's where it gets interesting. Even though we're all concerned, only about 20% of us actually take action. Like reading those super long privacy policies or digging through app settings. This is what experts call the privacy paradox. We care a ton, but we don't act. So, what gives? Well, it's not because we're lazy or we don't care enough. The real reason is right here. The research is pretty clear. The user experience is basically designed to be confusing. The system is just not built to help us make smart, rational choices about our own privacy. Here's the bottom line. Trying to figure out those dense legal documents and mazes of settings menus, it takes a ton of time and, frankly, expertise that most of us don't have. Privacy has somehow become this luxury good instead of a standard feature. It is, quite literally, inconvenient by design. But what if we could flip that? What if we could redesign the whole thing? Okay, this is where it gets really, really cool. Because there is a smarter way. A totally new model that just flips the whole script. It's called rational privacy. So what exactly is rational privacy? Well, in a nutshell, it's about using smart, programmable tools that let us, using our own common sense, decide exactly how our data is handled. It's about putting the power back where it belongs, in our hands, but doing it in a way that's actually simple and manageable. So let's break down how this actually works. The key idea here is something called selective disclosure. All right, imagine this. An app needs to know that you're over 18. Now, today, you might have to show your whole driver's license with your address, your birth date, everything. With selective disclosure, you just approve sharing one single fact. Yes, I am over 18. That's it. The app gets the confirmation it needs and all your other personal info stays completely private. You are in total control, piece by piece. And you can see this is so much bigger than just better settings menus. We're talking about a fundamental change in how we live our digital lives. It's about building a world where digital freedom is the default setting, not an afterthought.
So this is the future we can actually build. We can move away from a world where privacy feels like this constant, exhausting battle to one where it's just built in from the ground up. We get to shift from the opt-out mess we have today to a private by default standard. And what's great is that this empowers everyone. It helps developers build apps we can actually trust, and it finally lifts that huge burden off our shoulders. It's real freedom without having to compromise.
And look, this isn't some far-off dream. This future is actively being built right now. The team at Midnight is on the front lines, pioneering the new protocols and building the technical foundation to make rational privacy a reality for all of us. So, I want to leave you with this one question. Just imagine, for a second, a world where you don't have to second-guess every click. A world where you don't have to constantly worry about your digital shadow. Where you can connect and create and just be online with total confidence. What would you do with that kind of freedom? What could you build? What new things would you explore? Think about it. What becomes possible with true digital freedom?